Secure Guard Security Services, your trusted security provider. Join us as we explore the intricate world of evidence handling techniques, legal authorities, complexities surrounding searches conducted without consent, and lastly, tort law. The first thing you must remember in handling evidence is to protect and secure a crime scene. But how? Most of the time, security guards are the first to respond to a crime scene. So, you must study the basics, including how to secure it, to avoid contamination of evidence. Establishing a perimeter around the scene is necessary to prevent unauthorized access and should be recorded in detail. You might as well use physical barriers to protect the scene, and remember to document relevant objects without touching or interfering with them. Make sure that you have preserved and protect the crime scene until police arrive, and do not typically collect evidence. If you have come into contact with the evidence, you should handle it with gloves and secure it in a locked location while recording relevant details. It is also a must to secure audio or visual evidence by copying it onto a secure storage medium. To establish continuity of evidence and ensure a fair trial, be sure that proper procedures are followed during evidence collection. After documenting the evidences, you may need to speak to witnesses and record their statements. Know that there are two types of statement. The first one is informal statements. This can be taken by simply asking questions of the witness and recording the response in your notebook. While the second one is formal statements. Guards will interview the person, then have the person write out a statement and sign it. This statement is more appropriate if criminal charges are likely to be laid. Whether you are taking it formal or informal way, you should always start by introducing yourself and letting them know that you're a security guard. Always be sensitive to the witness feelings, listen without interruption, clarify uncertainties, and summarize the story at the end. Now, when testifying in court, honesty is crucial and lying is perjury. There can be severe consequences for those who commit perjury. As a witness, you should answer questions from both prosecution and defense as clearly as possible. To summarize it, there are 6 core steps for containing evidence. The steps are collect, secure, preserve, identify, ensure continuity, and log. Please bear in mind that as a security guard, you will always deal with personal information. As a part of your job, you must keep it confidential. Personal information can only be collected with a person's consent and for a specific purpose. They cannot be used for a different purpose than the one it was collected for. If possible, organizations must take reasonable steps to protect personal information from unauthorized access or disclosure. Moving on, did you know that security guards commonly encounter offenses? The most common offenses security guards encounter involve disruptive damaging behavior, theft of property, and violence against people. An example of this offenses is searches without consent. Security guards must obtain a person's informed consent before conducting a search, except in the case of a lawful arrest, where the security guard has reasonable grounds to believe the person may be in possession of a weapon. Before the video ends, we will talk the areas of tort law. First, let's define tort law. Tort is a wrongful act that incurs liability. It can be intentional or negligent, and security guards can be sued for committing a tort. For example, a negligence under tort law may be brought against a security guard in a situation where a security guard has arrested a person and during the arrest caused injury to that person. Owners or occupiers of a property have a special liability to protect those who come onto the property, and hiring security guards may be necessary to fulfill this duty of care. As professionals, we have a responsibility to maintain the highest standards of ethical conduct, ensuring that justice is served and the rights of all parties involved are protected. By successfully completing this course, you have gained valuable knowledge and skills that will serve you well in your professional endeavors. Thank you for watching our digital training course for Secure Guard, your trusted security service provider.